Sports 630 KIDO, KIDOAM.com, Terry Ford Show. Lots of hoops going on. Of course, the NCAA tournament, the NIT, the CBI, the CIT, NBA. Let's talk about all of it with our buddy Kevin Burke from HoopDoctors.com. Hey, brother, what's up?
Terry, what's the good word?
Oh, man, just going through my bracket. Have you filled out yours yet?
I have, but I scrapped it and started over about 3 or 4 times.
See, that's why I haven't filled mine out yet, dude, because that's what I'm going to do. I'll fill out 30 of them.
Yes, I'm actually staring at a blank one right now. It looks better this way, actually.
I'll ask you about that in a minute. First, real quick, a couple big games last night in the NBA. Well, I'm telling you now, man, the Heat bandwagon just needs the door open and the steps just down. That way people can jump on and off of it. I mean, the NBA season is so long. I don't get all crazy over a losing streak or even a winning streak. But I just think it's hilarious how, you watch the hairspray heads on the worldwide leader 1 week. Oh, my God, this team, what are they going to do? They got to fire the coach. They got to fire Eric Estrada. They got to bring Pat Riley from downstairs. They need a center and a guard and a bench. And now all of a sudden a few wins. Boy, this team looks great. They can get to the finals. It cracks me up, Kevin.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you remember last week, we spoke about the Heat troubles. I think that's all we spoke about, actually. But I also said, I would not want to play them in the playoffs. I'm not counting them out.
Right.
I mean, there's too much talent, too much firepower on that team to count them out, to think that they're a joke, to think that they're not for real. I mean, they played, very good teams in that stretch where they lost 5 in a row. They played, the best teams in the league pretty much. So, I mean, you get a 30-point win against the Spurs. They returned the favor. I think that's very ironic, actually.
That was pretty funny.
That's funny. They beat the Lakers for the second time this year. I mean, so you take the Lakers and the Spurs out of it, I think they're 0-7 against the other elite teams in the league.
Right.
But still, there's too much firepower to count them all. But you're absolutely right. I've never seen a team with so much, on and off bandwagon jumpers, like I have now. It's comical. I mean, they're right now third in the East. It's like the Bulls and Celtics are tied for first, and they actually are 0 for the season against both the Bulls and the Celtics. So if they do end in a 3-way tie, they lose the tiebreaker against both teams. They're going to end up with the third with the third seed, rather. But I would not want to play them in the playoffs. I said it last week. I said it during their losing streak, and I'm going to say it now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, eventually I think the shortcomings on their roster will catch them at some point in the playoffs. But I sure the heck don't want to go up against Wade and Bosh and LeBron for 7 games. And I'll say this. You and I agree on Chris Bosh. Neither one of us are huge Bosh guys when it comes to making him a max player. He's not a max player. But I'm going to say this. He, in front of a microphone, in front of everybody, said, I need to get the ball more, and I got to get the ball more in the paint. And they've done it. And old Bosh has responded. I got to give him his credit that Chris Bosh in the last, 3 or 4 games, he's been a beast.
Yeah, he has been a beast. I threw the first one out the window because he played against Pau Gasol, who I think got to be the hands-down softest guy in the league, but then against Phil's box. So
that's a battle of softies. You're right.
Yeah, but no, he certainly turned it up. And the funniest thing about last week was when Bosh complained to the media, I'm a big guy. Yeah, I can step out and shoot it, but I need the ball down low. That's where I thrive. And then they interviewed LeBron, and LeBron's response was like, "Wow, this is news to us. If he wants the ball, ask for it. We'll give it to you." I think there's 3. Quote unquote superstars that, they don't want to go to each other and say, hey, I need the ball, because they're going to fear that the other 2 are going to get mad at them. So they have to talk to one another through the media, which is comical. But he's definitely turned it up. I mean, this is what you're paying him the big bucks for. You got to see this out of him. I think now they're just trying to maybe force him the ball a lot now to keep him happy. I think maybe when playoff time comes around and the games start to matter a little more, maybe they regress back to, oh, yeah, there's Chris Bosh on our team. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James are taking the majority of the shots. But, it's for their benefit, for Miami's benefit, for, the organization's benefit. The guy has a pulse, and he's somewhat earning that exorbitant contract that they gave him.
I will say this, too. But we know Tim Duncan isn't the Tim Duncan that Tim Duncan used to be when he was Tim Duncan. We know that. But still, that block by Wade last night on Duncan was sick. I don't care what stage of Tim Duncan's career. I don't care if he's got a walker and a cane and a jazzy wheelchair. That was a sick block.
Yeah, for as great as Tim Duncan is, he's gotten embarrassed quite a few times in his career. I mean, not even just lately since he's been older. LeBron dunked on him a few years ago in the finals, I believe it was.
Right.
But yeah, that was an incredible. Dwayne Wade has a motor that just will not quit on any play, and that was. And I don't like you said. I don't care how old you are. That was an embarrassing block. Hell of a move by Dwayne Wade.
Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com, Sports 630 KIDO, KIDO AM.com, Terry Ford Show. Okay, let's go to Super Game number 2. And once again, I'm no fan of Andrew Bynum. He plays 40 games a year, rebounds below the league average for a center. Besides Duncan, he really doesn't have an offensive game. But I'm going to tell you, last night, he drove Dwight Howard crazy, my friend.
Yeah, he did. I think that's definitely the exception, not the rule. I think Dwight is unguardable. I really think I think if you're going to start a team in the NBA today and you got to choose one guy to start your franchise with, I think you have to pick Dwight Howard. I mean, I don't want to hear LeBron, D. Rose, Dwayne Wade. I think it's Dwight Howard. But yeah, Bynum showed up. I mean, goes back to what I was saying before. He's tall.
Exactly. That's what he is.
That's what he does best. He's 7 feet tall. But no, he showed up. Very injury prone. I'm never going to be a Bynum fan.
Me either.
Injury prone for my liking. I mean, really. I mean, he's there's no skill set. He has nice footwork around the basket, but it's a lot slow. You look at his teammate Pablo Gasol's footwork around the basket. You look at Bynum. It's like night and day. It's like, wow, you guys really playing the same team. Why don't you watch Gasol during practice or something? But he showed up. To his credit, gave Dwight all he could handle. He rebounded the ball. Altered some shots. Not just Dwight's, other folks as well. If you can get that out of him consistently for 82, I'll even take 50 games a year, out of Bynum. So they're healthy now coming down the stretch. I think the Lakers, to win it all before the season began. If you can get that, if he can bottle that, then I think they're hands down the winner from this point on.
I'm going to tell you right now, I put him in a plastic bubble about 10 games before the season's over. I don't let his tail out until the playoffs start. Because you know and I know there's a good chance this cat's going to get hurt between now and playoff time. Oh, Andrew Bynum.
Absolutely. He's like the Greg Oden's slightly healthier twin brother or something.
It's no doubt. No doubt. Sports 630 KIDO, KIDOAM.com, Terry Ford Show, hanging out with Kevin Burke from HoopDoctors.com. One other NBA thing, and then we'll move on to the NCAAs. I have never personally been a huge Kobe guy. I never have been, and he'll never, he's not Michael Jordan. He won't be Michael Jordan. I know the NBA want him to be Michael Jordan, but I'm going to say this about Kobe, Kevin. It almost makes you break out in a rash. Watching him over these last couple years, the fact he's become a real leader, not a fake leader, not a leader for TV, but like going out there after that game against the Heat and shooting around for an hour and a half and, kind of leaving the bus running. Hey, you coming, Kobe? Kobe? And, playing on that ankle that we all know, anyone that's ever rolled an ankle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my ankle hurt for 2 days after seeing the replay of his ankle. And just the way he goes about his business now. And again, we'll break out in a rash for saying it. I am impressed with the mature Kobe Bryant.
As am I. I'm in the minority in that I don't mind Kobe. So I'm the opposite of you. I've never minded. What he...
So how much it takes for me to say this.
I know. Is he arrogant? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be that great, that kind of comes along with the territory. So, I mean, I'm in the minority in that I do like Kobe. But when I saw him, for an hour and 20 minutes after a loss on the road, shooting around, I mean, I won't say admiration for his game, but just I'll go, sure, admiration for his game was elevated to another level when I saw that. And he wasn't doing it for the cameras.
No.
Of course, reporters and cameras just hung around because he is Kobe Bryant. But that, I think, is why he is the best player in the game. I think he would be the best player in the game until he decides to retire for that reason. No, he's not as quick. He can't jump as high anymore. But, I mean, that's sort of dedication. Again, when he rolled his ankle, like you said, I was shocked he wasn't out until the playoffs began. After seeing that, I mean, he even said he was scared to get up. He thought maybe he'd broken something. He wasn't sure if he could walk on it. To come back as if nothing happened, I mean, I'm sure it's got to be sore as ever. You couple that with the fact that he, again, shooting after the game. This is why this guy is the greatest player in the league. Him, if you can, if he can contain that and you can bottle Bynum's, performance from last night, it's a dangerous team come stretch time.
Oh, they just get another ring and have another parade that the people in LA can't afford. It's just what happens. Yeah. And the one other thing about Kobe, when they talked to him about the shooting around, and this was the greatest answer. Why are you doing it? Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I play basketball for a living. I'm supposed to practice, especially when I had a bad game. Why wouldn't I? Why doesn't every player want to do this? And everybody goes, hell, that's a pretty good point, isn't it? That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, it only made headlines because it is Kobe Bryant. I mean, if Shannon Brown stuck around, I mean, you and I, we'd have no idea he was, hanging around.
Darko Milicic, no one cares.
Yeah, it's Kobe Bryant, so we talk about it. But I mean, again, the greatest guy on the planet. Tip your hat to the guy. Definitely.
Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com, Sports 630, KIDO, KIDO AM.com, Terry Ford Show. All right, man, I've been going over this. And every year, wherever I'm at doing a radio show before I get fired to do the next radio show, it's weird how that happens. But, I always go over the trends of the NCAA tournament. Obviously, a 12 always beats a 5. And 8 out of the last 10 years, a 13 beats a 4. So we've been sitting here looking at the 12s and the 5s and the 13s and the 4s, and you got your bracket in front of you. Hit me. What do you got? What do you think?
I don't know, man.
And look, I won't stick you to these, but I do. Yeah. I'll tell you this. I do want you to email Dan your bracket when you're done.
Okay.
I'm going to get as many brackets as I can in so I can, so basically I want to get enough brackets in so I can't finish last.
Gotcha.
So
you want an upset in the first round.
I won't hold you to it. Just give me what you think right now.
We're looking at it. I've got it right here. Again, a blank bracket. I like Oakland over Texas. I was not a believer in Texas at all throughout the majority of the season. I'm going to kind of roll with that.
Oakland's good, man. Oakland's good.
I think they definitely are good. Was never a believer in Texas. I mean, they were, one or two, throughout the majority of the season, but didn't see a whole lot in there that I really liked. Man, let me see here. This is it's so wide open. I don't know what's more wide open, the NCAA or the NBA this year. I really don't. It's, I have a tough time even picking the Final Four, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm looking at this thing here. I mean, I'm just going down BYU. I'm not sure how for real they are now that Brandon Davies is gone.
You know what? Honestly, and I'll say now I have not seen Wofford. I didn't get a chance to watch Wofford win their conference tournament.
Yep.
But BYU is like a 3-legged dog right now, and would it surprise anyone if Wofford pulled an upset on BYU? No.
No. If they win, they got St. John's in the next round, a rejuvenated St. John's program. I don't see them getting by St. John's if they. Listen, Jimmy Fredette, great player. I mean, he's doing it in the conference that he's doing it in. He's not. I mean, he hasn't really played against the Big East talent or ACC talent this year. That's not his fault. He didn't draw up the schedule.
Right.
It is what it is. But at the same time, I need to see him score 52 and 40 against Big East competition and a major program before I'm really sold on Jimmy Fredette and why he should be the player of the year. I mean, because if I had a vote right now, it's going to Kemba Walker. I'm biased because I'm a UConn alum.
Well, thank God you're.
I didn't say that. Did I? No, but
thank God your objectivity hasn't been soiled.
I mean, listen, just take a step back. This NCAA tournament. So it's now 68 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple games tonight, a couple games tomorrow night. They don't even put the team names on the bracket. It has winner of round one. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean.
I know. Dude, I'm a 64-team guy, no play-in games. That's what I like. And this thing could be worse, though, Kev. It could be 96 teams.
It could be 96. And it's funny. I actually I was up in New York yesterday interviewing Greg Anthony about the tournament and kind of his projection. He actually is in favor of moving it to 96.
Oh.
I'm against that. I think 64 is enough. I actually think that these conference tournaments mean way too much. I mean, just way. I mean, UConn won 5 games in 5 days, never done before. Great, absolutely great. But no way should they have been, rumored to get a 2 seed because of that. I mean, what happened to the games? They laid a couple of eggs this year. So I mean, there's just way too much emphasis. I mean, you can theoretically go winless in the regular season, win your conference tournament, and you're in. How does that make any sense? There's just way too much emphasis. It's all about that mighty dollar. It's about people. It's about NCAA and the tournament and the conferences making more money, but there's way too much emphasis on these conference tournaments. There's no need for them, in my personal opinion, other than folks getting money.
Yeah, Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com, Sports 630 KIDO, KIDO AM.com. Terry Ford Show. Look, I'm with you, especially in the power conferences. I mean, and this is what makes me laugh, is you look at, and we'll go with your guys at UConn. Yeah, winning those 5 games in 5 days, God love you. Big props, big ups, Kemba Walker. Man, that was some good stuff. But those 5 games wipe away, which was a season where UConn lost 9 games. You saw them one week. If Kemba Walker was on, UConn looked good. Another week, Kemba shoots 4 for 19. UConn's getting beat, not looking good. And to say, hey, they should be a 2 seed with the fact that I think they're overseeded at 3, but you hit it right on the head. You're seeded at 3 because you won 5 games in 5 nights in a postseason tournament where half the league didn't care about it.
Right.
So I'm with you, bud. It's all money. It's all the dollars.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, the only thing to hang your hat on if you're, a UConn guy or you're rooting for UConn is that is by far head and shoulders the toughest conference in the country. So you did that 5 games in 5 days in a row. Never been done before. But again, how does that take away? I mean, they had some really, really bad losses. I mean, the Big East was a gauntlet. Some people said it was tougher to win the Big East tournament than it will be to win the NCAA tournament.
Might be.
Really. I mean, that remains to be seen. But, I mean, no way should that, propel. What if they lost to Louisville in the Big East championship game? Would they still be a 3?
Right.
Would they be a 4 or 5?
Exactly.
There's way too much emphasis. It's at Madison Square Garden, great. The championship game is on a Saturday night, great. Okay, but that's it. It goes no further than that. It's another game on the schedule. There's way too much.
All right, last thing before we roll. I know you're changing it every hour. Who do you like so far? I mean, you got a Final Four in your head?
I do. Let's see. What time is it now? Let me see. I got time to change my hair, right? Yeah, no, my Final Four, I got Ohio State, Duke. Here's where it gets tricky. I got Kansas, and I got Wisconsin.
Ooh, Wisconsin.
I don't like that Pittsburgh region.
Oh, I don't like Pitt.
All.
I don't like Pitt.
Pittsburgh, Florida's wide open. I got Ohio State winning it all. I think they've been the most consistent team throughout the entire season. Their 2 losses were great losses. At Wisconsin, everybody loses at Wisconsin, and also at Purdue. 2 in-conference Big Ten losses to 2 teams who are in the tournament. Purdue, a 3 seed, and Wisconsin, a 4 seed. So great quality losses. I mean, Sullinger down low. You got Leidy on the wing. These Diebler shooting the 3. I think they can do everything on the court: bang, defend, shoot, dribble, penetration. I don't really see a flaw in their team. I think they'll play Kansas ultimately.
Yep.
But I think Ohio State's going to cut it down. I think they're the most complete team in the land.
I believe I'm with you, my friend. I think Ohio State and Kansas might just play for the whole thing. And you know what? Pitt, I'll leave you with this bracket tidbit that I dug up. No team has ever won the national championship losing the first game in their conference tournament.
Really? Okay.
So you can wipe Pitt out of winning the whole thing. I'll be honest with you. Here's my reason I don't pick Pitt. I used to pick Pitt a lot, and they always get beat. Always get beat. And when they lost to Villanova a couple years ago when Scotty Robertson hit the shot, I had Pitt in the Final Four. I said I will never pick them again, ever in my life, to go to the Final Four. So I'm done with Pitt.
Pitt is always a trendy pick come tournament time. They rarely get into the Sweet 16. And they lost it, like you said, to your point, they lost the first game of their conference tournament, which was to UConn, and they're still a 1 seed. So go figure.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I don't get it. Yeah, really.
Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com. Yeah, hoof your bracket over to producer Dan. I'm going to get as many as I can from as many people as we have on so we can have some fun.
Will do. I'll get it over to you.
All right, brother. Have a good one. We'll talk to you.